Furious Driving February Friday, final Friday of the month live stream, which is happening now. Good evening, and on the week that Land Rover announced they're doing a V8 supercharged Land Rover Defender in the face of everyone else going electric, which is quite fun and frankly insane. But yeah, hello everyone, hope you're well. So look over here, see if I can bring up my own live stream to read the questions on the big screen. I tried this last time and it was really confusing seeing myself moving back and forth. But if I try and do, there we go, if I put the questions on the screen so I can't see myself, I can read. That works. This actually works. I can read over here. Snoop Vlog, good evening. Paulie, hello, how are you? Alex, how you doing? We've got, gosh, 27 people. Gosh, that's okay. This is weird though. There is a delay between that screen and that screen, so mostly I've got myself off the screen, but the questions are up. Steve, fix, fly, drive, ride, tunnel, swim. Hello, Robert, good evening, and everyone else. Gosh, hello from Moscow. Davey, how is everyone? What do you want to talk about tonight? So yes, yeah, Paulie, you like the 928. The 928 was really, really nice car. That is a very well used car. It's got some miles on it, but it is absolutely fantastic. But in amazing condition. So yeah, it was really nice. Oh, Alex officially sorted out shipping for a W140. Excellent. What's been happening this week? Well, we're on the countdown now. Countdown to Quentin getting a roof. In less than a week, going to be driving the. Hello, Clive. Glad you liked the 928 video. I thought you might. Going to be dropping Quentin the convertible off for his roof to be fitted at last. More videos of that particular car coming next week because it's got more stuff to do before we take it anywhere, as always. That is this drink. Sorry, people always ask what the drink is. This is Whitstable Bay Shepherd Neem stuff, which is quite nice. How's the 928 auto box? It's alright. It's very automatic-y. It's very smooth, but it's got a sort of serious kind of thump as you sort of go between gears and you're accelerating hard. I've not driven a manual one, so it'd be quite nice to see what the difference is between the two. 928. I was fixed drive Ride Fly actually owns an early 928. They crashed in value due to the extortionate servicing costs, dropping to 11k in the 80s and a lot less a few years after that. I look like Richard Hammond's long lost cousin. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing, to be honest. What do I think about the Nissan X-Tronic CVT? Apparently they're very bad. On the whole, most CVTs are pretty bad, if I'm honest, because it's a great idea in practice, but unless you're driving a pretty low-powered small car not very quickly, they're a bit weird. Oh, sorry, I misunderstood the fixed drive ride comment about the 928s. It wasn't the value of the car, the 928 was 11,000. The service was 11,000. Wow, no wonder no one wanted to buy them and run them. Have I seen the MG Maestro EFI at some garage I've got for sale? No, I haven't seen it. I'll be on eBay later on to have a look at that. Is it insanely expensive by any chance? Oh, hang on. Volume seems low. That will be down to the iPad volume being low. Thanks for letting me know. Apparently, weird thing on iPads when you do the volume control, that also does the microphone control. I only found that the other day. 928 was called a ladies' car. What do I think of that? Well, it doesn't try and kill you like a 911 does, so I guess not being dead is in some way being ladylike. I don't know. I wouldn't have thought that would be it. Oh, terrific spokesman. Xtronic CVTs unreliable compared to other CVTs. I hadn't heard that, but I don't know. A suggestion for the channel: how about getting a VW Corrado and sorting it out? Well, that would be kind of fun. They're not cheap though, and they don't really come up very often. It would be quite cool though. I've never owned a Corrado. Hang on, BIG. So Lots of comments. This is a British Racing Green MG Maestro EFI. Wow, I wonder how much that is for sale. Have I ever driven a Toyota Crown S110, and what do I think? You had one before the 740. I have not driven one. I've sat in one because I took some photos of one years ago. Didn't get to drive it though. I think it was quite nice inside. Here's a serious question. Should I get a Mark 1 Focus for a first car? Yeah, that's a really good idea actually. They're brilliant cars, the Mark 1 Focuses, much better than the later ones. They're quite reliable. They rust a bit, so look out for that. But they're cheap to service. They're good if you bend them, and they're great fun to drive. So yeah, really good car, and they're going to definitely go up in value as well if you look after it. Oh, Paul, yeah, I did miss that comment. There's after I did the W124 video a few weeks ago at Stone Cold Classics, I think that car sold really quickly. I mentioned that my perfect one would be a 280 manual estate. There was one for sale, which was about £6,000, and it's now dropped to £2,000. It's with a repossession agent, and it looks really nice at first. Lovely leather, metallic paint, lots of options. But you start looking at the photos more closely, and you realise there's a reason no one's bought this car. But for £2,000, that suddenly looks tempting. Hello, John R. How are you doing? So I'm being distracted because there's a very long thread about whether or not there's a train quiz going on a different channel at the moment, which is very kind of weird to try and watch. Comment from Steve, who owns the early 928. When I wanted a 928 years ago, the Porsche salesman said the manual is really only good for putting you into a tree. Well, I guess he was trying to do very well at flogging autos. Maybe there's a bonus on automatics that week. Michael, any Volvo news? No, the Volvo basically hasn't moved since the beginning of the month, really. Took the tax off that and a few other cars because it was snowing and horrible and cold, and I wasn't going to do anything with them for a while, so that has just been sitting on the drive and doing very little indeed. I just want to say a quick thank you to, who is that? Dixie Dog, thank you very much indeed. That little orange flashy thing, that's called a super chat, where if you want to buy a cup of tea or a coffee or a biscuit for the channel, you can donate a couple of pounds just to put towards the insane running costs of the fleet and the maintenance and repairs. And considering that Quentin's going to cost us a few quid, every thing like that is very, very welcome indeed. Thank you. Hello Frank, how are you? What do I think is the real transporter car? The transporter movie, sorry. Audi A8, W12 or E38 7 Series. I think the transporter movie, it's got to be the Audi. I think I kind of prefer the BMW in real life, but for that movie, the Audi is far more synonymous with it. Hello from Mr. Porsche 356 from Sydney. Wow. When can we see a review of an Alpha 916 Spider or GTV? I haven't got any lined up, but I do really, really want to get one done as soon as possible. I really like them. I know it's the same car underneath as my 145, but yeah, I would love to get one of those on the channel. I've got a coupe lined up, Fiat Coupe, but I don't think I've got a GTV lined up. Little fly buzzing through the room. And yeah, and Dixie Dog, good evening to you, and thank you. A question from Dixie is, the motor sound at the beginning of the videos, was that one of my cars, and if so, which one? That is the Alpha 145, which we were just mentioning literally seconds ago. Yes, it's got a really lovely sounding engine because it's the Alfa Romeo twin cam, twin spark. Twin everything, 8 spark plugs in one engine, only 4 cylinders. Here's a quick question. When will we see more of the Mini? Hopefully in the next month or so, because again, like the Volvo, because February's a short month and the weather was terrible at the beginning of the month, I took the tax off everything, so they've just been parked up in their various garages and hidden places. So that one hasn't been out for a few weeks, but hopefully we'll get that one out in March with a bit of luck. Get some miles on that one and do a few jobs on that. I need to look underneath that Mini and under seal it and scrape all the old factory rust proofing off it, that kind of thing. Oh, Sean, got a couple of old ridge plates for me. Brilliant. We've got an amazing start to the garage number plate collection with one from Australia last week. That was pretty amazing to open that envelope. So I have turned the the microphone up as low, as high as it will go. If I get a bit closer to the iPad, cut my head off, but hopefully it might be better with it. A bit better. Any better? Is that louder? Have I seen? Oops, I've moved me. Have I seen the 416 Rover for sale with a blown head gasket? Yes, I have. That's actually a friend of mine as well. He wants about £250 for it. If anyone wants, in fact, I'll put up a call out right now. If anyone wants a Rover 416 Auto in white, it's a nice car, tiny bit of scabbing on the arches, but the owner hasn't got the money to. Well, he has got the money. It's too expensive to take it to a garage. It's not worth it financially to do it. He's got a lot of nice cars actually, but yeah, he's going to get scrapped unfortunately because that's what the offer is. So yes, do look out for that on Facebook. 416 Auto for sale. Gonna go this weekend. Hello Darren, how are you doing? Free Pine Chips, how are you? Gosh, I received a quote for a cam belt change in a 2001 Fiesta and it came at 320 quid for a Fiesta. Wow. I'd go somewhere else if I were you. Do I still rate Rover? Yeah, well, they've not put much interesting out recently, but you know, hopefully they'll do something soon. I still think the cars are good. The cars they built, well, obviously every car is different, but yeah, there were some decent cars. Hello CJ. What's my opinion on E10 fuel coming in? It's a little bit of a worry, really, isn't it? Because it could potentially damage a lot of classic cars. If you've got an older car, you need to check what the situation is with your rubber hoses and your carburetors and yeah, your entire fuel system, really, because it could do a bit of damage, really, couldn't it? Potentially had a taker. Dave, if you had the space, would take that Rover. Yeah, it's a lovely car. I've definitely seen it in real life. I've not been in it, but I've seen it. It's a really nice car. It's a Honda engine as well, so it's surprising the head gasket has gone. Quentin did sound good in the last video. It's a 1.6K series, and they're nice engines. Have I driven an MG6? I drove them very, very early in production, when they were just about coming out. And the one I drove was like pre-production plastics and stuff, so they didn't have any texture and things on them. So that was, yeah, they weren't brilliant quality compared to the Rovers that came before. The new ones are getting better and better and better, and the electric ones apparently are really good, so I'm hoping to test a couple of those before too long. Oh, Tom, thank you very much indeed. Great photography posted. Thank you very much indeed. Will we see a P6 or two on the road soon? Hopefully, yes. Did a couple of very small tasks on the 2000 because that one I kind of got it more or less sorted out after the engine mounts and then kind of wandered away and it's just far enough away down the road not to go back and finish it. The Black Rover, I've been hunting for bits today and got a couple of bits coming, so next week maybe we'll have some finishing, putting stuff together. Had to buy a couple of bits because I must have recycled some of the bits off that engine when I was getting rid of stuff from the Range Rover donut engine by mistake because I could not find them anywhere. So I had to buy a couple more bits for that engine that I just binned. But yes, hopefully there'll be some P6 action in the next, well, definitely next week. Where are we going here? Big thaw happening in America. We've thawed out already now. We're quite warm over here now. Hello, Paul. Have I found the Sinclair parts already? I'm not using any standard stuff, so I'm going completely off the beaten track with the Sinclair bits and pieces, but I've kind of got an idea. I've mapped out exactly how I'm going to mount it now. Someone did offer to machine some engine mounts for me, and I need to email you some details if you're watching. But yeah, that's going to be quite cool. Am I going to do an old taxi go to drive to go along with the electric one? Yes, I would quite like to. I need to just find one, really. They are around there. As soon as I can grab hold of one, I will. I reckon I should take the V8 out of the Rover and stick it in the C5. The V8 is bigger than the C5. You have to just plonk it literally on top of it. I don't know why the audio is quiet because I've got it turned up as loud as it will go. I literally can't turn up any higher. What's my day job? I'm a photographer. I take photos of stuff in real life. Tom, Oh yeah, your dad's got an original Super Impreza. Yes, drop me an email because I do love the original Impreza. That's the best shape of them. Drop me an email. Address is in the link below. Hello, Gray. Photography channel. I haven't really done much with it yet. It's called Clickbait. Clickbait Photography. There's a link in the description because it's such a small thing at the moment that if you Google it or search it, it doesn't come up yet. There's only about half a dozen videos on there, but more coming soon, hopefully. Please don't paint Quentin myself. I reckon I could do quite a good job of Quentin. I reckon I'd do all right. Okay, that was the extension lead falling off the desk and taking the iPad with it. And we're back. Earthquake over. So yeah, I was just going to say, yeah, I've done some car painting before, but only with cellulose. I managed to get some very nice finishes on the Rovers. The white one I did first time many years ago, and the only thing was cellulose, and you can't really get an amazing shine. But the new paints, you can, as long as you get a good surface, you can get a really good shine off them. So I think I could do quite well with those. Oh, a couple of people saying sound is okay, so I don't know, maybe it's your headphones. Because this is, I say, it's turned up as loud as it can go. Yeah, that was the. In case you wonder what that big earthquake thing was, that was a extension lead that the iPad was plugged into, and it just suddenly decided to topple off the table, and it dragged the iPad with it onto the floor. Is there any way of attaching a microphone to myself? Only with headphones, and I don't have any headphones that will plug into this iPad because it's the new Thunderbolt socket. I don't know why you're struggling to hear me because it's exactly the same setup as I always use. Have I reviewed a Mazda MP3? No, I have not. I've never even sat in one. Oh, Terminal Velocity. Thank you very much indeed. That's very kind of you. Super chat there. Oops. I watched the 959 get put into a showroom. It was the Evans Halshaw dealership in Warwick. My uncle was a driver and a mechanic. He allowed me to sit in the car. Oh, very jealous. I've never sat in a 959. I've seen a couple of them. Well, I've seen a few of them, but never sat in one. I remember sitting in a 928 looking jealous. Oh man, it's been great to work in there back in those days. Oh, thank you, Terminal Velocity. That's brilliant. That'll definitely go towards the hood being sorted out next week. Any news on a unit? Nothing at the moment, no, unfortunately. I thought I found a barn on a farm recently, but the guy said it's not been vacated yet. He didn't know when it would be vacated either, unfortunately. Yeah, looking to get some P6 done. I'd love to drive P6 again. They've been tucked up for too long in the winter. An opposite review here. Please paint Quentin myself. It'd be great content. Drop my biscuit and my tea when the iPad went for a tumble. Yeah, I nearly went for a tumble as well. Chasing after the thing. Yeah, that was, Robert, very, very Hubnut indeed. Do what Hubnut did and paint it with a roller. Someone else suggested that in the comments. I'm not planning on painting it with a roller. I wanted to make it look as nice as possible because the thing, it's going to be a really nice car. I'm going to recondition the leather as well. Get a colouring kit to sort out that little scuff on the driver's seat. Brand new hood. Everything running beautifully in the engine. It's a lovely solid chassis underneath the car, so maybe I'll underseal it as well. Got nice little wheels to put on it, which I'll refurb here at home. That car's going to be absolutely fantastic when it's done. Oh, I've got a new member as well. Who's that? Will Hughes. Welcome to be being a channel member. If you notice some of the people making comments, they've got little logos next to their names. That's because they're channel members. I sort of see their names coming up a bit more clearly. Am I a fan of the later MG products, the ZT, ZR? Yeah, I do. I really like them. The bigger ones more than the little ones, really, but they're still quite fun. Because I was always a big fan of the 25 and the 200 anyway. So, oh, good. Someone says the sound is great. So I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. Can't say. Oh, John, you're looking back to when I did the Rover Coupe paint with an aerosol. Yeah, all my aerosols are like 15 years old and knackered. So yeah, if I actually do it properly, I'll use the compressor and a nice spray gun and make an effort. Hope I'll do a Lupo GTI. Was that you who was emailing me about Lupos the other day? Because I meant to reply to you to say yes, I would like to drive your car. We did get Lupos and Arosas, and I forget what the highest sporty versions were. There were sporty versions of them both when they were current. If someone asks what should my first classic car be, oh god, depends how classic you want to go to. If you want to be fairly sensible, I'd look for something 80s or early 90s, like a Mark 4 Escort, Mark 5 Escort, Rover R8 is always a safe bet. Mark 2 Golf. If you want to go a bit more classic-y than that, then something like a Triumph Dolomite or an MGB, you can't really go wrong with those. Or the Citroens, 2CVs or Minis. There's a lot out there. I would say rather than looking for a specific make or model and saying that's better, look for one that's been well looked after. So if you're looking to drive it and maintain it rather than do a full restoration, you're starting from a good place. Because anything that's lasted 30, 40, 50 years already, clearly it's in a good place to start with. So then just follow your own personal taste, find one that you like the look of. Have I thought of doing a Yugoslavia car? Yeah, there is the Yugo. They're incredibly rare now. I would love to do one because they're just so fascinating to see. But you'd never see them anymore. If anyone has got one, then do let me know because that would be really cool. Yeah, Anglia Car Auctions. I've got a Sinclair C5. I didn't know they had Alphas in there as well. Be interesting to see what the C5 goes for because Sinclair C5's minty ones, like new in box, do go for a lot. About £1,000 not long ago. Will Hughes should have joined as a channel member months ago. Oh, well, you're here now. That's good. That's what counts. Could I get a diesel Volvo 740 or 760? Do you mean for the channel or for me to own? Be interesting to drive one. Is a Land Rover on the thumbnail a radio control? It is. I've lost it. It's an ancient radio control Freelander rally support, or possibly actually rally radio control. I don't think it works anymore, but it does sit in the corner of my office. I thought I'd chuck it up there because Land Rover today announced, this week announced, they're doing a supercharged V8 Defender. Everyone else is going electric. Land Rover have gone V8, which is suddenly renewed my faith in them for being daft and Land Rovery, which is fun. When we got back to, you need to go backwards some more. Anything happening on the Mercedes? Well, the weather's actually improving now. I'm looking at building a lean-to over where the Mercedes sits so I can keep on welding it. But yeah, basically I need to get out there and do some welding on the thing. I'm not a big fan of doing welding, but without spending a lot of money, I've got to weld it. Otherwise, no one's going to do it for me. So yeah, I'll be welding it soon, basically, and then that'll be that. If I can paint on the Rover, then I can paint the Mercedes as well, because that needs paint too. There's another car that will empty my wallet very happily if it if it has to be painted professionally. I'll be quite happy to paint that on myself. Where are we? I can see you having a collab with Ian and Steph. Yeah, we'd love to do that. I think we'd all be quite like to do that. Everyone, like everyone else, is just waiting for COVID to end so we can get on with doing things. I think we'd all be up for doing some kind of whatever trip, event, video combined challenge or something together. So yeah. Oh, free pie and chips. Thank you. I didn't know you were. For some reason, I thought you already were a member. But thank you for joining. Oops. Oh no, I've lost the comments. That's a bad thing. How have I managed to do that? Okay, I'll have to go to the comments on the iPad. That's going to be really confusing. That was going so well. So I'm going to refresh that. There we go. Don't try painting in your driveway. You already have understanding neighbours. Neighbours are great here, so that'll be fine. They'll probably come and help. Mark, I'm sorry the audio's giving you a headache, but I have no idea why it's quieter than usual because the iPad's set as full volume. John, yeah, John was impressed with the repair on my Rover Coupe door, and then he realised he was looking at the factory side, not the side I'd painted. What about a van like a Citroen or a Berlingo Mark 1? Again, is this for me to drive or to test drive or to own? I would actually quite like to own a van. It'd be a really useful thing to have. Yeah, some random old vans would be quite cool to have as reviews though. I'm trying to get hold of some modern vans for test drives, just for some variation really, something different. Hello Rumours, how are you? Have I driven a Fiat Turbo IE, sorry, Fiat Uno Turbo IE? No, I haven't, but I would like to get one on the channel because they are very, very cool indeed. Well, Robert, shall I get in touch with someone with a fleet of interesting cars? Yes, please. If anyone's got a lot of interesting cars to review, then please put them in touch because it'd be great to go and see an interesting collection. Oh, this is a difficult decision. Someone's got a hard life here. Looking into getting either a Corvette C6 Z06 or a first-gen Viper. They're actually quite different cars, really. The C6 is quite a lot more refined than the Viper. The Viper is quite a vicious thing, a bit of a brutal brute, and the C6 got a bit more domesticated by then. It depends how much you want to work at driving it. I think the Viper's pretty cooler, but the C5 won't kill you. Sorry, C6. Oh, van for the channel. Yeah, I can see getting a van for the channel, but I think it'd be older or weirder. Mark 1 Megane Scenic really did move things on. Yeah, it did actually. Yeah, people really could kind of, that changed the way people looked at MPVs. They became kind of interesting. Funny, I saw a Mark 1 Megane convertible. Is it Mark 1? Yeah, it was the late 90s convertible on the road today. I hadn't seen one for years. I thought it looked really good. Yeah, Davey, Scottish car enthusiast, really likes the Defender. I like the look of it. It's kind of grown on me very quickly. I wish I'd do it with a manual though, because I don't like it with the auto. So someone's actually weirdly just asked exactly that question. Russell, at the first it was a bit of a, oh god, what have I done with that? But it's kind of growing. It's growing quickly, but it's massive. You see one in the car park and you think, that's just too big. It's as big as a Discovery. Yeah, Nick, you've got the same problem as all of us who's ever owned anything from the 80s or 90s. All the cars used to own, Cortina, Mini, Allegro, Mini Metro, going up in price. Wish you kept them. Yeah, so many we wish you could have kept. I really wish I kept an E30 BMW I sold for 600 quid, and now you can't buy anything on a E30 for 600 quid. Oh, Neil, thank you very much indeed. Glad to see the channel growing. Owner of a 200 Jaguar XK I guess that's 2000 on 200. Fancy getting a Mark 1 Quattro. Yeah, that'd be a really good idea. I do know someone well, a couple of people who've got Mark 1 TTs. I think they're really good cars. If you can find one without the factory recall for the spoiler, then you're onto a winner. That's definitely one to collect. Race the Sinclair against the Invacar around a go-kart track. Well, that'd be interesting. I think the Sinclair will be faster briefly, but then the battery would go flat, and then Sinclair, sorry, the Invacar would take it in the long run. Free Pie and Chips, never knew there was a membership. But yes, there is a channel membership option. If you want to look in the link below, it can help support the channel with all the ridiculous projects and things that are going on. It's like £2 a month or something. It just helps keep all the projects happening. How about a new old Beetle as I did the new one? Go a new series, new and old, reviewing the same car, new and old side by side. That'd be quite fun. Problem we've got at the moment, of course, is getting cars because of COVID and lockdown and stuff. I can go out to do stuff because I'm working, but it's awkward meeting people. So most of the cars, in fact, 99% of the cars I've done over the last few months have all been dealer cars because they're at work as well. Getting around the restrictions, but in a safe way as we can. Oh, okay. Nick used to own a TT Quattro with a BAM engine. It was extremely unreliable. I know they're horrible to work on. They're so tightly packed in. And neighbours grassed up to the local council for working on new cars and spray painting. Were you actually breaking any rules, Paulie? Oh, do you have to have permits where you are or anything like that? Because unless you're doing it commercially, you don't really have to do it here. If you're just doing it for your own cars, you can kind of do most stuff here in the UK. If you're going to buy a van, buy a Bongo, if only for the name. The Mazda Bongo Friendly, one of the best named cars in the world. Renault Kangoo Mark 1 and Ford Courier are rare now. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I can't think the last time I saw one. That's a really good point. Vivaro, you've got a Vivaro Bond. They're supposed to be quite good, I believe. Yeah, Nick has put Neil off buying a TT. What's next for the Merc? The grey one's due a service next week. It's a year. It's actually a year since I had it serviced. It's just a couple of weeks before the first lockdown. And I paid a full service, new brakes, all that kind of stuff. And it sat on the drive until the battery died for the next 3 months. The blue one, I'm going to get some welding done on it. Have I ever driven a Mito? Yeah, I think they're really nice. I've been meaning to get down and review one. Because I know someone whose cars I reviewed recently, someone else in their family at home, had a Mito, a really nice one, a really, really nice interior. They're quite nice. They're not as engaging as some of the other Alphas, but they're a fun little small car, and they look really good, and the interiors are fantastic. Get one with leather if you can, because the leather lasts really well and looks amazing. Where are we? Come on. It's jumped. There we go. Buy an external mic like all other YouTubers. It's going onto an iPad, so it's going to the Thunderbolt socket, so it's not actually as easy as that sounds. Defender also coming out with a steam engine. Well, anything can happen with Land Rover. C6 Corvette is literally made out of the plastic surround of a biscuit tin. Oh, harsh. It's polycarbonate or fiberglass, isn't it? Get a Maestro van. give me a chance to practice my welding. I don't need any more practice opportunities for welding. I've got plenty of practice opportunities for welding as it is. I'd actually quite like one of the Rover 25 vans or Rover 200 vans. They're incredibly rare. Or a Punto van. I don't need one that small because that'd be just no advantage over an estate car, but just a nice thing to have. Review of a Scenic RX4. Was that a four-wheel drive kind of off-roady sort of thing? God, that's another one you don't see anymore. I should have a Bedford like they put. Oh yeah, the old Bedford CF, like on a skid factory. Yeah, that would be quite fun. Those all turned into dormobiles, weren't they? In the end, everyone turned them into camper vans. Oh yeah, Gavin at Petrol Blog does have a Mark 1 Coupe Megane. Convertible Megane. Maybe I should ask him if I can borrow it for a drive. Saw a Hillman Imp van yesterday. I'd forgotten they did a van. That was a ridiculous idea because the engine's in the back, so most of your load space is engine. Yeah, this is the Mirage, isn't considering either a Viper or a Corvette. Don't mind the whole workout driving it, just fed up taking the entire window out just to go to McDonald's drive-thru. That's a fair point. Hoovy from Hoovy's Garage, he had a Viper for a bit. I think he sold it fairly quickly because I don't think he got on with it very well. He may still have it, he's just not done anything with it for a long time, but I think he moved it on quietly quite quickly. Oh, Adam, thought of a van but then fell for the idea of a Japanese K mini truck. Now wasting hours looking for them. You know, after the what are they called? Mighty Car Mods and their mini trucks and K cars, I've been really sort of thinking that would be so cool to get one of those. Needs to be easy to store. No more room than the Sinclair C5. Oh no, Thanos. My Rover 75 V6 will need a new engine soon. Already spent a lot of maintenance. Do I save it or go for something else? Well, depends what a new V6 is going to cost. If you can get one for less than the price of a new car, if the rest of the car is worth saving, then keep on saving the car. If you can find a really good price for a good engine, then maybe go for that. I guess Russell talking about the Defender, because so many conversations happening all over the place. Yeah, the Defenders are just massive. Perfect van for me, a Ford Escort Mark 6 Vanguard, and then put an RS2000 in it, engine in it. Actually, the one I was really thinking of would be like a old American. They call it the panel vans based on estate cars from the 50s and 60s. That'd be really cool with a modern running gear underneath it. Hello, Maxidine. How are you? Thoughts on a Fiat Chroma? I think they're great cars. They're really cool looking things. Parts are going to be hard to come by. You have to go to Italy for a lot of bits for that. They're an interesting choice. Probably not great for an everyday car, but it'd be a really fun thing to have because if you turn up at a show with one, no one else is going to have one. Do I know what happened to the Rubbish Mechanics Alpha 90? Yes, I do. I don't know what you know has happened to it. I saw it the other day though. I should speak to Walls Wheels or Joseph Lloyd about a review in a Mark 1 Megane saloon. I don't think Joseph's got one, or has Walls Wheels got one? I've not booked into any car shows yet because I don't really know what's going on. Hopefully might be able to get to a few certainly over the summertime if things lift up. Has the infamous garage roof fix? Oh, I thought that had gone away, the garage roof fix. It has held up relatively well. It started dripping again now though. Next stage is get some waterproof concrete paint stuff to paint on the inside or get a different garage. Try a Citroen C15D. Gosh, they're ugly, aren't they? Never see them anymore. Those have been worked to death, haven't they? I don't really think anything about the VW ID3 yet. I've not really checked out the specs or anything, so I don't know a lot about it yet. It's too new for me. It's not, I just haven't bothered to look. I'd like an Audi B3 Coupe. They're very hard to, yeah, there's all kinds of fun European stuff you just struggle to find in America because of the 25-year rule. Will there be a Furious driving meetup post-lockdown? Yes, I am hoping to do something, but I don't know when or where or what part of the country to do it in, because I'm in the southeast, but a lot of people I know are kind of Midlands, southwest, north. So yeah, I might have to do a couple perhaps, I don't know. Andy Armstrong, yeah, sort out your XR3i. Get it done before summertime. Okay, now it sounds better, but I don't know why. Oops. So it's all jumped again. I was about to read a question card. I'm miles behind in the comments there. Most uncomfortable car I've ever been in, Clan Crusader. I drove one just around a yard, basically, not even onto the road. It was awful. The position was just everywhere. The guy who owned it, he thought it was hilarious that it got stolen once, and the thief only made it to the end of his road before they abandoned it because it's such a horrible thing to drive. But Clan Crusader owners absolutely love them. Hello, Rover Joe. Stevie, I'd like to see a Citroen DS5 being driven. Yeah, me too. Trying to get hold of the Citroen press office and make them think this channel's worth giving cars to, even as we speak. How about Renault 4 van? It's a fun thing to own, but completely pointless because always bear in mind that the Mercedes estate is actually quite big. Sorry, just reading Free Pine Chips. Darren, the Merc XR4 Ti, this is the one you shared on Facebook, wasn't it? You might be able to get that home soon. That'd be great if you can. Or is this different to the one you were showing? Oh, good. Have I driven a Leyland National bus? No, I have been offered a couple of buses, but obviously COVID and stuff has meant that hasn't happened. My friend has a Mark 1 Kangoo MPV. It's dying slowly. I think that's the day it left the factory it started doing that. Gotta go. Enjoy. Oh, good night, Robert. I hope you saw me say goodbye because I'm a bit behind in the comments. Have I seen Dotty so far? What do I think of the colour? Paulie, blah, blah, Mind Freeze. Which one's Dotty? Too many channels. Is that Nitro Sylvia's car? Can't remember. Give me more information further down. I'll know who you mean when you say more information. First, hello Michael. First found the channel after watching reviews on E46 convertible. Now I own an E46 convertible. Bought it as a project during COVID. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, I actually did quite enjoy driving it on the review. E46 is a nice car to drive, they always are. and there's like no scuttle shaking. You kind of almost aren't aware you're in a convertible when the roof's up. They're great cars. Road IXY is a good solution. Things only do the live chat once every 4 weeks. It's not a massively worthwhile investment for 1 hour a month. 500R Bath in America uses the Mito multi-air engine. Does it not use the same engine over here? There's so many versions of that car now. Yeah, she's trying Infinity. There are a few Infinities around, but not many. They're mostly SUVs, and they did not catch on at all. Blimey. Sean was actually overtaken by a Fiat Chroma Turbo yesterday. The possibility of even seeing one is ridiculous. Cooper S, any further forward with the Rover V8? Yeah, I've been searching for and buying and hunting out bits for it. All the stuff that was missing from the build last time. I've been trying to locate all of those parts. So yeah, that's where we go with that. Rover Joe had a bit of a nightmare. Oh God, nothing too bad, I hope. At least plastic doesn't rust. That is very true on a Corvette. The steel chassis can though. Nothing wrong with fiberglass cars, says the owner of a Reliant. If I set up a tent on the driveway, the neighbours will presume it's a forensic tent. They already think something's gone wrong here. Oh no, Rover 25 jacking point collapsed. Get the welding gun out. MGZR van. I've seen about one for sale ever. Oh wow, John taking ownership of an MGF, a 2000 year one. Brilliant, I'll have fun with that. Just in time for the summer. Any thoughts or feelings on the B3 Passat? No, it's an okay car. It's solid, it's reliable, it's not exciting in any way, but it does most stuff pretty well. Just check the electrics, because early to mid noughties Volkswagen electrics were pretty dicey. Am I furious much? I know people keep telling me the sound's too low and I've got the microphone turned up full. Oh, the Bedford CFs, they sold them as Chevy vans in Sweden. That's interesting. All part of the old GM empire. Suzuki Wagon R video would be cool. You're right, it would. Wagon Rs are great little things. Ridiculous, but great. Recently found a Rover 620 manual. Oh, top spec leather, everything. Would buy it. They're nice cars. I really enjoyed driving Joseph's one a while ago. So a Punto van for sale with GT seats. Do you know what? I think I saw the same car for sale, possibly. Might be on Facebook or Marketplace or something. 96 Ford Transit, the strongest gearbox in the world. I would actually quite like an early slope front transit. They're quite cool things. They've all rusted away though. That's probably some fun cars. They just destroy themselves with rust in the end. Ah, Joseph, Lloyd's Vehicle Consulting. Hello, how are you? So I've taken a while to get to this comment because I'm using the big screen, not the iPad, because I can actually read the big screen rather than normally I'm squinting into the monitor. Using the big computer today so I can actually see what's going on. Hello from Laurel, Maryland. Hello, America. Oh, we had this conversation the other day in the comments, didn't we? The comma vans gave me the creeps too. I always thought it's like a psycho killer's vehicle. Hello, Aid. Remember, both Vipers and Corvettes are left-hand drive only, so don't go through UK drive-thrus. That makes the whole no working window in a Viper even worse. An atomic steam engine would be a neat idea. Well, yeah, I'll give you some interesting things to fill on the tax forms. Was the Hillman van not called the Husky? No, the Husky was a van version of an earlier thing, not the Imp. Volvo Duet van, oh, they're good, aren't they? Yeah. I don't know if we actually got them officially here in the UK or not. I can't remember the last time I've seen one. 9 to 8, thank you, that was really, really nice. I love driving that car. Mr. Lloyd, Mr. Coleman has a video of the 90 on his channel which shows what happened. Oh, does he? Has he put it out now? Yeah, that was very unfortunate. The Alpha 90 has decided to empty some of its engine. What's my favourite shape Fiat Panda? The first one, the all proper ones, the original Giugiaro one, especially if it's a four-wheel drive one. Every now and then, the comments just fly down to catch up to where we are in real time, but I'm still reading miles back. Alex, I need that 2002 Crown Vic you tagged me in. No, I want one slightly later. I want a different later or dash cluster, and I want a couple of the changes happened in about 2003, 2000. I can't talk. 2004. That did look nice though. Richard, you love a Volvo. Yeah, everyone loves a Volvo. It's actually called, I can't pronounce it. Vafad. It means wanderer. It's one of Odin's names. Top Gear van with the XJ220 van in the back. That was actually a Ford van, I think. Jake from Walls Wheels has a 99 Megane Classic, which is... okay. Maybe go down on the same day and film that one then. Still better than Hubnut's leaking garage. Yeah, that does not look any fun to work in. Yeah, that van, yeah, that's what I was thinking. It was a genuine factory thing. The XJ220 van was actually the mule. They hid the running gear of the XJ220 under a transit body, so no one knew what it was. John's unsubscribed. You talk about the roof. Volkswagen Corrados are very, very cool. They look good. They go well. I'm going to talk very quickly through a few comments because I'm way behind on them. Citroen H van, very, very slow. The funnest one I ever saw was an amazing camper conversion, but it had an Audi 5-cylinder engine in it, which has really made it very usable. Yes, I do know what happened to the Alpha 90. Yeah, Rubbish Mechanic James sent me a video of it to show me because it was, he wasn't happy. Going back to the Klein Crusader, my mate had his Project Mini stolen decades ago. They soon found out he hadn't fixed the brakes. That's good anti-theft mechanism. Oh, okay, Darren, this is the Merc XRTI. There's been an issue trying to find a title. Okay. Am I still surprised how popular the Volvo is? In a way, yes. I mean, it's a lovely car. For decades almost, you could barely give the things away. Now suddenly people look at them and go, wow, it's a really amazing thing, and I love it. And I can see why, because it is a very, very nice car. But it's not exciting, but it is nice. So yeah, yes and no. Oh yes, James has dotted the SD1. I haven't seen it up close. This is the green one, isn't it? Or is it the red one? Oh, the names, too many names, I get lost. Yeah, James is doing great with SD1s at the moment. Oh, thank you very much indeed for the super chat, whoever that was. Scottish, Davey, hello. I'll finish this one and I'll chuck it onto the roof installation. That's a little super chat from Scottish car enthusiasts towards the ongoing projects. I have a Nissan Micra K11. It's a project, very comfy, just road noise like being in a hurricane. I suppose it depends on the roads. Oh, John, thank you very much indeed. Also, super chatted from John. That's really kind. So the what do you call it? The hood fitting on the convertible is going to take a few quid. So these little things certainly make a big difference to getting that thing sorted out. Am I planning to test drive any sort of Soviet or Russian car like a Lada Riva? There's a few I'd like to drive, especially the Lada Niva, the four-wheel drive. I'd love to get out in one of them. I'm hoping to get out in a Trabant as well, East German car. But yeah, this year I'm hoping to be very busy driving as many different random things as possible, just take advantage of the summertime and stock up on a whole year's worth of cars over summertime. Yeah, the more the merrier, and the weirder the better. Used to own an XR4i. The fuel consumption was terrible. Yeah, they weren't great, were they? Evening, mate. A bit late. Deliver Rav Vast Tongue Drum. What? Rav Vast Tongue Drum today. I don't know what that is. That's just a spell check thing, sorry. What do I think of Hubnut's Nissan Primera? It's very Hubnut. It's a really good car that isn't exciting, and that's exactly perfect for what he wants. A nice, reliable car that's weird in an unweird way. It should be a good car for him, actually. I don't know how long I'll keep it for, but yeah, I think you should get some good miles out of that. Fiat 500 Abarth used the T-Jet in Europe, much easier to map that unit. Practical Performance Car, one of my favourite magazines, they did a feature a few years ago, where they told you how to take a laptop on holiday and a OBD reader and map your hire car. And they did it on Fiat 500s. They flew to, I don't know, Greece or Spain or somewhere, mapped their hire cars, ragged them around the mountains and cleared the map and then returned them. It was a really good feature. I wish I'd thought of it. Was the C6 fiberglass? It's some kind of plastic body. I think it's still, aren't they? Am I now glad I didn't walk away from Quentin after he took me to the end of my tether? Yeah, it's a really good car. I knew it was a really good car waiting to come out. It just really did test my patience for a long time. Do I have any car goals for 2021? Finish some of them would be nice. I'd love to get maybe one of my dream cars, an Austin 7 or a Crown Vic at some point this year. That'd be really cool. Get a barn or something to keep them in so I can keep them dry and safe. That's kind of really it. Everything beats my Ford E350 RV. 8 miles to the gallon. Oh God! You only go camping in your own village. I own an air compressor. Want to get a spot sandblaster? I've actually got a sandblaster pistol, but the air compressor is only like a 50 litre or 25 litre. I think it's quite small, and it runs out of puff really fast. You couldn't do your glasses frames with it very well. I need a bigger air compressor. Then I can do it, because I was going to sandblast the red wing, because it's got a couple of tiny spots of rust hidden in it, and that'd be the best way to get rid of it. But I need a bigger air compressor. Andy, I guess you're off. Nice to see you come along. Where are we at? I think BMW M3 V8s will rocket in value. Yes, they will. All of the old petrol, not only normally aspirated, but also non-EV over the next few years. That's going to get very valuable. Hello, Integrale, West of Scotland and fellow Alpha and Italian fan. Good choice. What's my thoughts on all vehicles going fully electric in 2030? Oh, I suppose it's inevitable, but quite sad, really. I think hydrogen still has a chance, though, and let's not write that off just yet. But also, don't forget that all the time there's thousands, millions even of cars out there that are running on petrol. Petrol will still be produced, so there's a lot of legacy of petrol cars that we can still drive for a long time, and it means petrol will last for longer for us. Do I think the current Fiat 500 will become a classic like the first generation Mini? I don't know, it's very popular, but I'm not sure really, not as much. Maybe there's less of a cultural attachment to the 500 as there is to the Mini in this country, perhaps. It'll become a classic, but not in the same way. Joseph uses 2 devices as well. Yeah, I've discovered this tonight, and it's making life much easier because I can actually see the screen, because on the iPad screen, which is recording, it's such tiny writing. John, I'm going around with a baseball bat. Any plans for Humber car brand? I don't think they're bringing it back. I'm a big fan of Humber cars, especially things like the Super Sniper and the Scepter, and I think they're great cars. But they're hard to find. But I'm hoping to get into some this year to drive a couple of those. Oh, it's moved again. Ay. Sorry, it does a thing every few minutes where it leaps to the bottom of the thread, and I lose where I am in the comments. I know you dislike automatics. I think you would extra dislike my robotised automatic, but I only have an auto license. Which car is that in a robotised? I think you commented on something in a Facebook earlier, isn't it? I forgot what car you said it was in. Wow, V12 E38 BMW gets 11 to the gallon. That's nearly as bad as the RV. Oh, Darren, you got a Mark IV Escort Estate and a Mark II Orion. I like the Mark II Orion. Oh, that's what brought you on, I guess. No, I always liked the look of them. Did I see the Humber Museum in Hull closed? No, I didn't. I wasn't actually aware there was a Humber Museum in Hull. I'm even less aware that it had closed. That's a shame. We'll never get to go to it now, I guess. Sorry, removing some comments. We still, oh, this is from Sweden, rumours. We still had left-hand traffic here in Sweden at the start of the duet run, but I think your cars were left-hand drive. Hang on. Might have been before Volvo Export 3 took off, possibly, yeah. Yeah, didn't you have that thing in Sweden where you went from right-hand drive to left-hand drive one day randomly, and everyone had to just remember which side of the road to drive on? Oh, Keith, sorry. So that was a super chat from you. Thank you indeed. Fiver for the roof on Red Wing. I was starting a new job close to home with Mother. Oh, brilliant. Oh, you moved nearer to home. That's good. What tips do I have from a diesel on short trips? Worried about the DPF. At least once every week or two, take it down the dual carriageway and give it a good blast down. Italian tune-up, basically. Otherwise, the DPF will clog up because they don't like short stop-start traffic. So fairly regularly, frequently even, do give it a bit of a blast so that you can clear all that out. Just take it to high revs and get the exhaust really nice and warm. That should see you through and keep it alright. Where are we at? What's my favourite V8 engine? Oh, I don't know. So I should say Rover, really, shouldn't I? But I don't think it is. I think really pretty the Chevy V8, the little small block. It's so versatile. So much power from such a small thing. Because the Daimler one's quite nice. It's very smooth and everything, but you can't get a lot of power out of it. The Rover one's got a unique sound to the Rover engine, but it's really hard to get decent power from one of those. Grumpy Toffee finally made it to a live stream. I was about to sign off as well. Yeah, Lord and Neva. Yes, that's a 4x4. If and when I come to Sweden, sort of test driving a lot of 4x4. Thank you very much indeed. I'd love that. I love an old Skoda Rapide or an Estelle. Yeah, the old 80s and late 80s rear engine Skodas. They were great, weren't they? I've not driven a Trabant yet, but I've got a couple of people who own them, so I'm hoping to get to drive one soon. Yeah, Tuk seems very popular, doesn't he? The hubnut car. Hello, Hamburg. Hello, Julian. Hope you're well. Glad you can make it. Wow, James had a Yugo 45 and now has a Fiat 126. So a bit of a step up, but not that far apart. Blimey, this is a base model 2016 Panda. No central locking on it, and you have to open the boot with a key. Wow. In 2016. Now, Quentin hasn't quite finished me yet. He's doing his best, though. Oh, yeah, you nearly hear the kids coming. But fortunately, Mrs. Furious ran intercept and diverted him somewhere else. He wanted to be sitting in the chair behind the other side of the desk of the sofa in this room. He wanted to be sitting on there, but I knew he'd be causing non-stop interference. The mapping idea was great from Practical Performance Car. Where's the best place to get Mercedes-Benz parts, preferably online? Do you know what? I honestly don't know. I've been buying stuff on eBay on just random places on the internet. So all the kind of stuff I've found hasn't really been from Mercedes specialist. I would love to find a Mercedes specialist, but there are a couple of places in Germany which are really expensive. Hang on. I'll look in the bookmarks. I have bookmarked some places. Niemoller, Niemoller. They do older Mercedes stuff. Yeah, that's the only real place I've found that kind of specialises in these things. So eBay, Amazon, good luck. Jensen Interceptor Mark III. What if Danny from Practical Classics would let me have his? What do I think of a GTV? I like them a lot. It's a 145 with a cooler body. Hydrogen cars are electrics too? Yes, they are, but they're not battery powered. They are a different form of combustion, and it also means that internal combustion cars can, with a lot of work, be converted to run on hydrogen. So you've got a fuel source for a longer term use of petrol cars. I think everyone had a few misses, they missed it. Yes, the child is lurking. Hoping to see a Lancia Y10 or Fiat Strada being driven. There are a few Lancias around. There's quite a strong Lancia club in this country. Austin is 7 with a modern engine conversion. I think part of the charm is the the basic old engine. But if I bought one that had no engine, then certainly a modern engine. But basically, that's a hot rod, isn't it? That's entirely what a hot rod is. Take an old car, make it light, make it more powerful. Okay, Michael Vincent explaining what the Rav Vast is. Musical hand drum. I've never heard of them before. Your wife won't let them have an Alpha, so he's got a small musical instrument. It's done the thing again. It's leapt. Crikey. Thoughts on the modernish Alphas like the 159 Barrett? I think they're great cars. They were one of the best made Alphas in a long time because they wanted to get rid of their reputation for poor quality, so they poached loads of German engineers from BMW, Audi, Mercedes. So it's quite a German feeling Alfa Romeo, but it is a very, very tough one. They don't rust, they don't really go wrong. The 2.4 5-cylinder diesel was my favourite of the engines, but long term they've turned out to have a few reliability issues, so the dealers don't like to handle them because they don't want the warranty claims on them. But I think they're great. No, I would not be financial suicide. If you go for the petrol one or the 1.9 diesel, you're pretty much safe ground. The 1.9 is a GM block basically with an Alpha head on it. Do I know we can get a silver die-cast Mercedes W202? I do not. Hang on. So I've missed a few comments. After COVID, it'd be great to see all social media car guys get together and have a grand car show. And you ship your Merc or Scorpio over. Yeah, that'd be cool. What do I think of the Alpha GTV? I think they're nice cars. As I said a couple of times already tonight, it's actually my Alpha 145 in a coupe body. Oh, the Fiat 500 Ferrari will be a collector's car in the future. Yes, that one will be, yeah. Yes, Terry, thank you. Send a like. That makes a big difference to all the channels. Any video on it, do bang a like on it because it tells YouTube that you've enjoyed it and they'll shove it out to more people. So hopefully more people will watch it. Yeah, thanks, Terry. That's very true. Love to see me get a Impreza WRX. Yes, that would be kind of cool. An original one. We did have that Series 2 Sycamore Leaf i1 a while ago. That was a nice car to drive actually. They're not luxurious and the interiors are very plasticky, but the cars themselves are very good underneath that. Oh yeah, Citroen C4 Grand Picasso. Was you commented? I know someone else commented. glacial gear change, but like on a smart car. Have I watched Once Driven Forever Smitten? Yeah, with all Vauxhalls. It's Dougie, who used to be editor of Total Vauxhall magazine, and now he does stuff with trucks, but does loads of Vauxhalls. That's a really good channel. I have not found a Mercedes breakers, no. That's right. No problem with the DPF advice. 928 V8 surely. Oh, yes, I should have said that recently. You're quite right. Yes, Sweden did change driving sides overnight. I thought they did, but early 70s. Frank's advice on the Alpha petrols: avoid the JTS petrols. They're horrible. 1.7 TBI petrol is fine, or any diesel. Yeah, the 2.4. If it's a low mileage 2.4, you're okay. But when they get to like 150,000 miles ish, they get lots of weird issues. Yeah, good point. If you're not doing regularly. If you don't regularly do long journeys, you're better off with a petrol engine, is a fairly good point. But if you've already got the car, then you've already got the car. 5.7 litre Hemi is one of the best burbles. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, they had left-hand drive cars until 1967, but the cars were like now having the steering wheel on the left. Okay, so you're driving on the wrong side of the road for the steering wheel. So they only had to change buses' passenger doors. Interesting. Mad times. Yeah, I would like to see an AMG 663. That'd be quite a fun thing to drive, to find someone who's got one. Also, don't try and use cheap supermarket diesel. Yeah, it's good advice to everyone, really. Triumph 3 to V8 sounds better than the Rover V8. I don't know. It does sound nice to Triumph V8. It's a bit smoother, but the Rover V8's got a nice and sort of lumpy idle, which is kind of cool. Hello, Finland. Hello, Rasmus. What car will I be getting rid of first? Well, I think we all know that that's Quentin. Quentin's going to be sold as soon as he's done, so that's no exclusive reveal there. So skimming through the comments again. It keeps jumping. Yeah, it's a good point. 10 to 20-year-old Mercedes. The main dealer can be good for parts. That's true. Yeah, when I lost the locking wheel nut key for my car, I went down to the local main dealer. It was not expensive at all to get a new one of those, but I wanted to get some new centre caps for the alloys, and it was coming at £90 for a set of centre caps. So I got them second hand off Amazon or eBay in the end. Oh, thank you very much indeed. There's another super chat there from Dixie Door. Oh, thank you very much indeed, Dixie. That's very kind of you. We'll have this hood replacement sorted out in no time. I do know, Car Throttle on YouTube just bought a Volvo V70 for £1. I saw the thumbnail just as I was logging in tonight, but I hadn't watched it yet. Would I daily my Mini? If it wasn't a wire edge special car, I would do. It's up to it, but I'm trying to keep that car as nice as possible for the future, so I use it, not exactly sparingly, but not all the time. It would be good enough to do though. It's a nice car. I might even fix the air conditioning on it this year. Oops. Have I ever owned an Alpha Sod? Not exactly. I've owned an Alpha 33, which is basically the extreme facelift into the next model of a Sud. I really liked it, but I just never got around to it. And then they got expensive, and now there's only about 4 left in the country. So trying to find one to buy is almost impossible. Free pie and chips. Almost bought a Saab Sonnet a few years ago, but declined because of parts availability. When's it ever stopped you before? Oh wow, Felipe, just invested a mighty £900 on a pristine 1984 Datsun Sunny with less than 60k on the clock. Would I be interested in coming to sunny Portugal? I see what you did there. And reviewing it. Yeah, well, next time I'm in Portugal, I'll give you a shout. Unfortunately, it won't be any time soon because we're not allowed to fly anywhere at the moment. Convert my 145 into a GTV. I'll go and get the chainsaw. Do I know what a Saab Sonnet is? Yes, I've been in one. I know someone who owns one. They are mad-looking things. They're a funny Saab sports car. I don't know who designed it for them, if it was in-house or not, but it does not look like any other Saab ever. Volkswagen quality poor for US delivered cars. Are the Volkswagen ones built? They're built in America. Some built in Mexico as well, aren't they? They used to have a problem in the early noughties where their wiring was very, very poor indeed. Cavalier GSI, the Mark II Cavaliers and 3 Mark III Cavaliers were really good cars. This question is asked the wrong way around. Are there any of my cars that Mrs. Furious likes or even dislikes? That should be, are there any of my cars that Mrs. Furious even likes? I think she quite likes the Mini. And I think she quite likes the Alpha as well, because I had an Alpha 146 years ago as my everyday car. But beyond that though, I think she wishes that it didn't exist. I think the Volvo is acceptable. What's the second car in my collection I'll be getting rid of? That I don't know. Honestly, no idea about that. Got a Honda Jazz on a 2002 with 193,000 on the clock. Is it worth keeping until it becomes a classic? I think the second part of your question might be more accurate. Will it ever be a classic? The funny thing is, when everything gets old enough, it's considered a classic because it's old and interesting and people kind of remember them from when they were young. So in that respect, not quite. That'll be the child. Yeah, you'd have to keep it a long time, then it won't be worth a lot of money. If it's still running though, it is a Honda and it will still be running. It's worth keeping. Yeah, I'm impressed with the road furniture and the signage being changed in Sweden overnight as well. What's the weirdest car interior decoration I've ever seen? What's a good point, actually? I don't know. Pretty mad gear knobs with dead insects and things in resin. No news on Furious Storage HQ yet. Keep finding or looking for places and then finding they're not available. I went to the wrong farm by mistake the other day, and there was a barn that might be available later in the year, but not at the moment. Joseph says he reckons that immaculate Honda Jazzes might become classics one day, but yeah, it's going to need to be the nice ones. So when you look at 80s cars that were unloved and 90s cars that were unloved, people didn't really rate or love Mark 6 Escorts at the time, but now looking back, because you just don't see them anymore, people do quite like them. It's kind of the nostalgia effect. Who couldn't love the Tomcat? Yeah, that's a good point. She doesn't mind the Tomcat, but doesn't love it. Thanos, if you think about it, most Rover engines sounded good. Rover KV6, the K Series 4 cylinder, the T Series, they all sound good. Yeah, that's very true actually. Rover did make good sounding engines regardless of the number of cylinders. The Rabbit was built in Pennsylvania. Okay, this is more enlightened about the Swedish left to right hand drive or right to left hand drive changeover. Signs were pre-installed and covered up so they could uncover them overnight. I suppose there weren't as many people driving cars and things back in those days, so it does make it more simple. Being a car fanatic, can I see myself owning and driving an electric car? I guess eventually we'll have to. None of them really excite me enough to want to go and buy one at the moment. But I don't know, I suppose we'll have to in the end. Which car have I driven that utterly terrified you? Weirdly, it was a Fiat 500 that's the most scary thing I've driven. I've driven other Fiat 500s that were really rock solid. The one I reviewed on the channel last year was a really nice car to drive. But the first one I drove, when I've been really wanting a Fiat 500 and I got the chance to drive one, it felt like the wheels were going to tuck under at any given time. Like the moment you turn the steering wheel, it's going to roll. That really scared me really. Didn't enjoy that at all. Do I like the old Mini? Yes, I do like the old Mini. Never owned one, but I do like them. Do I think the original Mark 1 Qashqai will be a classic as it started the crossover trend? I think the same answer as the Jazz really. I don't know. It's because it's such an not ordinary is the wrong word, an everyday car. It wasn't the car that captured the imagination, but that's kind of what becomes a classic though in a way. Like Cortinas, Escorts weren't exciting cars. They were just ordinary everyday street furniture. But people remember them. So maybe in 20 years time when kids who are like under 10 now see them in the future, they go, wow, my dad had one of those. Maybe that's what will make it a classic. It's hard to say. Hang on. I got offered £1 million for any one of my cars. Which do I choose? Give me £1 million for someone to take it away. They can take Quentin for £1 million. OV plays. Yeah, hello, how are you? Hope you're well. Anyone like the Figaro? I was on the phone to someone this week who won't be watching tonight, but did say they really like the Figaro. What are my thoughts of beaded seat covers? I'm not an expert. If any taxi drivers on, then give us your thoughts. I always thought they looked a bit uncomfortable, to be honest, though. I've always wondered why they were so popular. They look really, really uncomfortable. I need to look up a new Mini revamped by Swedish artist Ernst Billgren for some design weirdness. I'll do a copy paste on that. I'll copy that and have a look at that later. That sounds interesting. Perfect two-car garage. Austin 7 and Rover P6. Ernst Billgren, not Billgren. Okay, I'll copy paste that instead. Oh, keeps jumping, keeps jumping. The car I missed was a 1982 Nissan Maxima Straight 6 2.4. Yeah, that'd be a cool thing. It's one of those cars, they're such a rarity, I don't even know if we actually got them in this country. Now that was the car, oh, Mark, was it you? No, it wasn't Mark. Someone posted me photos of one for the junk in the trunk stuff. Was that? No, it wasn't you. Sorry, that was Tim, wasn't there? One of those. So I'm getting myself confused. I actually sent photos of it. Countdown to child invasion. He's just been taken downstairs. He was about to invade. He wanted me to go and look at the hamster. I could hear him through the door. When we start work on the W123 again, now the weather's improving, I'll start doing some stuff because it's outside and I need to do welding, so that's not something I can do when it's raining outside. XJ40s are going up in value, especially now that Jaguar have said they're going to stop making the XJ, which is very sad. I mean, you think a big saloon is the core essence of Jaguar, making more into SUV crossover-y things. No, I don't like that. Model S, the only car to capture my imagination. I'm kind of a bit with you on that, but the build quality on the Tesla and the whole company, I don't know, it kind of puts me off. Austin Hilly, very nice. John counting down to the child invasion. 1990s multiple, very, very, yeah, that is very strange. And the Chrysler, yeah, the Chrysler gas turbine car. I've seen that in the Peterson Museum. That is a cool thing. Yeah, the massive screen in the Tesla dash, but then everything's got the massive Tesla screen now. Have I ever asked 25,000 from a suspension specialist and a cut to the profits? Don't talk about it. Shh, don't let them know it's me. Take all the cars for $1 million. Yeah, for £1 million you can come and get the entire collection. I'll start again. Last proper Jag was the X350 XJ. That was a nice car. But then the very, very final XJ, that big swoopy thing that was in the Bond movie, they're cool. They're cool cars as well. Have to go. Dog wants to go outside. Don't. Yeah, I'm have to go as well in a minute. Good night, Frank. Oops. Also been daily driving a 1.2 75 ELX Punto with 328 kilometres on the clock. Wow. Yeah, that'd be a fun thing to see how that stood up to the test of time, because people think Fiats don't last, but then you go and drive one of them. I saw this. There was a guy in Bromsgrove with an Austin Montego VP, which I think Ian Seabrook said he thought it was a press car, which is a digital dash, which is the Maestro thing. Yeah, if anyone knows anything about a Reg Montego Vanden Plas with a digital dashboard, then get in touch with. It was on Facebook somewhere. I forget which group it was on. Canadian W. I'll look. I will have done a bit bad with emails this week, but I'll go and double check about the Panda email. What was the most practical car I've driven? That would be the E61 BMW 5 Series Estate. That was just ridiculous. Enormous. It was as big as a transit van inside. It was 520D, so insanely insane on the MPG. I think we drove from the other side of Switzerland to Calais on less than a tank of diesel, going quite quickly with a full sort of load of holiday stuff. And it drove well as well. And it's so many cubby holes, so much storage inside it. If only it wasn't the least reliable car I've ever owned, it'd be brilliant. Skoda 4x4 Superb, 4x4, sorry. I think everyone who owns one loves them and buys another one. I think they're really good cars. Lots of kit, well made. Do I think how the switch to electric would change how we perceive electric cars? Yeah, that is kind of a worry if we start being seen as like the social pariahs, the ones who are bad for the world. That could be awkward, really, couldn't it? I hope it doesn't, though. I hope nostalgia wins out. If we're only a few of us driving classic cars, and we're seen as, you know, curious outsiders rather than dangerous eccentrics. Jag X-Type manual. They are really good. Because basically, people say, oh, it's a Mondeo, but Mondeos are excellent. The car drives well, it handles well, it looks good. Nice gearbox, nice engine. Especially if it's can you get four-wheel drive manual? I think it's only a 2 litre that's manual on that car, I think. Luke, yes, they did. They had an XJ virtually at production point, but they decided to can the entire project, which must cost them millions to do that. There is something else coming, but I don't think it's a saloon, is it? We will see retro modded EVs in the future with retro dashboards. That would be interesting. If we did, because yeah, a lot of touchscreen stuff is very user intuitive to use. Just got a 97 Corsa B 1.4 automatic. Right, I'll see you outside McDonald's at about midnight then. Is planned to keep both P6s? Yeah, the P6s both predate the channel. They were always just the cars I wanted. I had the P6 since I was a teenager, and the 2000 is. So I was never going to sell that one. That's the car I'm constantly keeping. And I always wanted a black V8, so the black V8 is the car I've always wanted. But then as soon as I got the engine sorted in the 3.5, it died. So then it's been in the garage getting the engine changed for a while. I think Child is being restrained with gaffer tape and belts to the sofa downstairs. So that's why he's not burst through the door yet. Jag SUVs are pointless as they have the Land Rover mark. Yeah, I kind of agree actually, yeah. I don't really like SUVs from luxury and sports car brands anyway, because I want a luxury car or I want a sports car. I wanted an SUV, I would go to an SUV brand like Land Rover. Fiat 126 is 30 years old, 1990. Gosh, the BIS. Oh yeah, Volvo P18, 55 million miles. Wow. They build Volvos to last. Yeah, Jaguar's prospects haven't been looking good, so hopefully their drastic measures can sort things out. Have I done... No, I've not done a Frog Eye Sprite yet. They're kind of fun little things. I've not driven one in so long I can't remember. If it's like an MG Midget, they're lots of fun, but I struggle to drive them because they're so small. Hardest car to drive that I've driven. I didn't do it for the channel, I did it for a magazine. It was a little... what was it? 3-wheeled, like a municipal truck thing with a Reliant engine. Actually, it was a Reliant motor, and the gear stick was so far behind you. You were sitting with the left hand behind you, and steering was terrible, and it felt very unstable. I drove it for a review in a magazine. It was weird. Hello, we are getting a 330e M Sport Touring. What do you think? Oh, great! More fast BMWs. That's a good thing. I'm all for that. So I'm guessing the 330e is a hybrid. It's a shame it won't be a manual, but you know, that'd be good. When they ban petrol, they're not banning petrol, they're just banning sales of new cars, so the 911 won't go down. The petrol 911s will go up, if anything. The head of the 911 division has said he will resist an electric 911 as long as he possibly can. So that will be the last Porsche to go electric. So I think cost, you know, you're out of luck basically. If you're looking for a cheap 911, tough basically. Lada Nivas R-Class. They're exactly what a 4x4 should be, basic, crude and capable. Yeah, 2 litre and diesel X types were front wheel drive, 2.5 and 3 litre 4-wheel drive. But I can't remember if you got the manual. I don't think that was available with, I think, hang on, I'm trying to remember the spec of X type Jaguars from 20 years ago. The 2.5 litre you could get with the manual, the 3 litre you could only get automatic. Oh yeah, David Cook just replied 2.5 4x4 was a manual. Fuels have to change. Yeah, it's not wrong. Oh, good night, Sean. I think you're off then. Did I watch the car throttle getting a Volvo for £1? No, I've not seen it. I've just weirdly only just saw the thumbnail just a few minutes before I came on tonight. Yeah, we've done quite a few cars now, haven't we, Joseph? Lloyd Vehicle Consulting. We've done a lot of cars together now. John's going to predict the end and say goodbye. Yep, I won't be long. I've been nearly an hour and a half, so yeah. The beer's running flat. Any chance of a soft top Jimny from Suzuki? I don't know. I think they do quite a few different versions in the sort of Far East of that car. We don't get them over here. I don't know. Do I like the Rev 600? I do. I drove Joseph Lloyd's in Lloyd's Vehicle Consulting. If you search that, you can find both of us driving that car, the blue one. Will I be at Bromley Pageant? I hope to be, yes. But it looks, I've only discovered yesterday that it's going ahead, so I'm hoping to be going. I'll have my jab by then, so yeah. Do I like the Volvo Duet? Yes, I do. I do like the old Volvo Duets. Good looking cars. Have I seen Vice Grip Garage? I'm working quickly through because I'm going to sign off in a few minutes. Yeah, I do. I really enjoy Vice Grip Garage. It's really entertaining. As someone pointed out on Twitter yesterday, if you look at the designs for a lot of new build estates, they put the houses in blocks and they put the parking in blocks. So where are they putting the charging for EVs? I've been offered, oh, this is Joseph, offered a Toyota EFI Montego. Yeah, you need to go and drive that one soon. After the 8th, Joseph. After the 8th, we can go and drive anything. Yeah, Clarkson did get his 760 GLE for £1. Apparently, he approached a main dealer who'd taken it in part exchange and they just wanted rid of it because it's too old to auction. But I've tried that with main dealers and saying, have you got anything you can sell? And they've always said that they can't for liability reasons. What about Milk Float? You know, I tried to drive a Milk Float in 2019, obviously, because 2020, just forget it. There was a place not far from here, or in fact in the next county, who were doing some interesting things, repurposing Milk Floats, and I was going to try and drive one of theirs. Oh, excuse me, C5, I haven't really done anything with that. I was talking to someone who's going to make a bracket for me for the motor, but I've not sent him the dimensions yet, so obviously he hasn't done that. Booking my review diary for after the March, yeah, me too. Gosh, in Greece the 600 only sold as the most expensive version. Wow. Huh, you'd think they'd give you at least one other option. Right, we've been on for an hour and a half now. My voice is going, my neck is aching from flipping from the screens. Thanks everybody who's come along and watched tonight. How many people have we had? I can't tell, I need to look at the statistics in a bit. Thanks everyone who's super chatted this evening, and thanks everyone who's become a member tonight. If you do want to come down and say hello at Bromley, I hope to be there. So yeah, catch up with a few people there. Philip, no, I hadn't heard of the Mediterranean M3. I knew there were various smaller engine versions of performance cars in different parts of Europe. That'll be the last one for the night. Good night, everyone. Hope you're all well. I forgot which screen I need to look at to turn this thing off. And now I can't find the button. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you soon.